Los Angeles residents are among the most stressed out people in the country. This according to a brand new poll. The group called One Poll questioned 3,000 residents from LA, New York, Dallas, Miami, and Chicago. 76% of people living in Los Angeles are at least somewhat stressed every day, they found. The most stressful spots in the city apparently are Hollywood and Highland Center, Universal Studios, the TCL Chinese Theater, Rodeo Drive, and any casting agency. New York ranked as the second most stressed out city in that study, followed by Chicago. I'm Ken Molestina for CBS LA.
We're here today because there's a bail hearing for the first person charged in Sudbury with manslaughter, among other offenses, and we're here to bring awareness. There should be statutory maximums for people who are caught dealing in substances that can take life. We are mothers against drug dealers, and we just have to bring this to an end.
My name is Lori Ryan. This is my cousin Russell Dipperner that passed away 2 years ago from this opiate crisis. He left his mother, 2 sisters, and most of all, he also had a son, which is going to grow up without a father. We miss him dearly.
I lost my nephew last August, my sister's son, and my only nephew. My nephew is Ryan Kenneth Packham, and he died last August 25th, 2018. At the age of 26 years. In the last 3 years, there was 10,300 Canadians who lost their lives. And we have to step up and do something about this now.
My daughter's missing now, and she's an opiate user. But she is a girl that has very good potential. But the opioids have taken over her soul. And right now, I don't know where she is. So, darn straight, if drug dealers are knowing that this stuff is killing people, then they should be accountable for it. Because I don't know where my daughter is.
In Columbus today, former Dr. William Husel charged with 25 counts of murder stemming from the deaths of patients at Mount Carmel Hospital dating back to 2015. Officials say many of the patients were nearing the end of life and that Dr. Husel hastened their deaths, ordering between 500 and 2,000 micrograms of the powerful painkiller fentanyl, far exceeding a typical dose between 50 and 100 micrograms.
I have found no one, nowhere, that says 500 micrograms of fentanyl is an appropriate use of fentanyl for treatment of someone being taken off a ventilator.
Husel pleaded not guilty.
I can assure you, it was never any attempt to euthanize anyone.
Families of those who died have filed lawsuits against Husel and the hospital. Amy Paff lost her mom, Beverly Ann.
The way we coped was, it was God's will. She's now with Dad, and we're okay with that. Then we find out that it wasn't necessarily God's will.
The hospital's chief said in a statement, Mount Carmel has made and will continue to implement meaningful changes throughout our system to ensure events like these never happen again. In Columbus today, former Dr. William Husel charged with 25 counts of murder stemming from the deaths of patients at Mount Carmel Hospital dating back to 2015. Officials say many of the patients were nearing the end of life and that Dr. Husel hastened their deaths, ordering between 500 and 2,000 micrograms of the powerful painkiller fentanyl, far exceeding a typical dose between 50 and 100 micrograms.
I have found no one, nowhere, that says 500 micrograms of fentanyl is an appropriate use of fentanyl for treatment of someone being taken off a ventilator.
Husel pleaded not guilty.
I can assure you, it was never any attempt to euthanize anyone.
Families of those who died have filed lawsuits against Husel and the hospital. Amy Paff lost her mom, Beverly Ann.
The way we coped was, it was God's will. She's now with Dad, and we're okay with that. Then we find out that it wasn't necessarily God's will.
The hospital's chief said in a statement, Mount Carmel has made and will continue to implement meaningful changes throughout our system to ensure events like these never happen again. The doctor was fired in December, his license suspended in January, and now could face life in prison. Ron Mott, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Well, Sharon, Micah, that's right. The events of today and this evening have been surreal for this San Gabriel neighborhood. As shots rang out, many hit the floor and dropped down, and as smoke went up, it sent chills through many residents. Shots fired, and as smoke billows into the sky, teams of LA County SWAT Bearcats move in. This San Gabriel neighborhood looks, feels, and sounds like a war zone.
We couldn't be by the windows, the doors, or anything. There were sheriffs telling us to stay inside and stuff, yeah.
Were you afraid?
Yeah.
When police arrived around 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon, the area was cordoned off. Nearby residents were evacuated, and some were told to shelter in place.
I had my nieces and nephews and their babies and stuff inside, so yeah.
Hunkered down.
Yep.
Residents were told a man was shooting at police and holed up inside a home that he set on fire and then set fire to another home. As helicopters hovered overhead, at times residents heard loud bangs from gunshots and fireworks, as well as instructions from the helicopter's PA system.
It was the helicopter, and they had it on the speaker, and they said to not come outside and to lock our doors and everything.
Many mothers worried about their children as the standoff went on for hours.
I was worried about my kid. My son's at home right now. I have my daughter right now.
And I've actually been waiting for 6 hours to get into my house. I just went to the store real quick, and this is what happened. I do have my kids waiting for me too.
The westbound side of the 10 freeway was closed.
Mega church leader charged with child rape and human trafficking made his first court appearance yesterday. Nason Joaquin Garcia's bail was set at $50 million. He did not enter a plea. His Mexico-based La Luz del Mundo church claims to have 5 million followers worldwide. A church spokesperson called the charges slander and said Garcia remains their spiritual leader. California Attorney General Xavier Becerra will hold a news conference today asking for any other possible victims to come forward. Garcia's lawyer says that the $50 million bail is just outrageous and violates the Constitution. Garcia's next hearing is set for Monday.
Hollywood is preparing to welcome thousands of people for LA Pride this weekend.
It's going to be busy, and that means we're going to be seeing a lot of road closures too. CBS 2's Tina Patel live in West Hollywood with a preview of this year's big event. Tina?
Yeah, good morning. The countdown is on. Gates are going to be opening in just about 7 hours. And if you look over here, the main stage is just beyond. That's where Paula Abdul will be hosting a free concert tonight. That's just the beginning of what's going to be a fun-filled weekend. Crews are working hard to make sure everyone can show their pride in West Hollywood this weekend. Thousands of people are expected for the annual parade on Sunday, but this year organizers will also be closing down streets for a massive block party.
It's completely different. We're having a block party 5 blocks here on Santa Monica Boulevard, full of our vendors, nonprofit partners, attractions, beer gardens. We're going to have a lot of artists on our community stage out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But Pride is not just about fun. The festival started as a response to the Stonewall riots 50 years ago. And activists say even though the gay rights movement has come a long way since then, there's more work to do.
We have to create safe spaces for people to celebrate and feel safe and inspire each other to be who they are.
Because there are still many places where members of the LGBTQ community don't have the freedom to strut their stuff the way they do here.
It's our responsibility to keep that going so that other communities around the country and around the world see our visibility and have a beacon of hope that keeps them going day by day.
That's why organizers hope big crowds will turn out this year. They want the streets to be filled with love and pride.
We have our hashtag this year is Just Unite, and that's what we're doing with our allies and the entire community, the trans community, bisexual, all the letters in the alphabet.
So take a